All right, that should be better. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to The Den. If you're not familiar with The Den, The Den is the best conversation on the entire internet. Yeah, I was singing to myself, getting myself hyped up. For The Den folk, it is TDAD. If you know what that means, that is Talking Dirty After Dark. It's Friday night. We grown folks in here. Hopefully everybody's grown. And we got conversations to have, right? I was so disappointed in the ladies last week. I don't know. I think I'm still disappointed in y'all. I don't know how to feel about that. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna let bygones be bygones. But next time, y'all talk about, we don't get a chance to talk and we get corrected. I gave y'all a whole free evening to say whatever y'all wanted. And didn't quite go as planned, but it's all good. So we'll see what we got in here. Y'all have to pardon me if the stream is a little buffery. I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi. I wanted to just do something different. Usually you guys see me in a room or, I have a green screen or I'm using some type of digital background removal software type stuff going on. And, it's always that. It's never really just me and my element. So I thought tonight would be cool to just do it like that. Now I'm gonna be sweating my ass off. It's hot, so if I pause and go grab a towel or something, it is what it is. I have been on go since yesterday morning. I didn't sleep last night, had to get things ready. I had to work early in the morning. By the time I washed clothes, I was like, man, ain't no point in me going to bed because if I do, I'm end up oversleeping, not going to work. I have been up, so if I fall asleep on y'all on the stream, it's your fault. Okay, so just accept that. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. I'm good to go. But like I said, let's see what we got joining us, and then let's get into a conversation tonight. We're talking about the Wack Pipe Report. Now, I may have mentioned the origin of that term. I know I have a long time ago. It might have been cushed in, so a lot of y'all might not be familiar with it, but I will explain. It's kind of self-explanatory, but if you don't understand, I will explain. Fellas, I would say I don't want to say everybody, but I would think we all have had our moments. I definitely have had mine, and I'll be sure to do that. Still no sound? Interesting. Let me see what's going on here. You got it on my face. Really? That's what I say. Everything's showing up. Oh, I know what it is. That should be that's interesting. You still can't hear me? Still no audio? That's crazy. I see the meters and bars. I always do this shit. Baby. Let's see. Can you hear me now? Let me know. I'm trying to see if the mic is picking up or not. Let me know if y'all can hear me now. And I don't know how, I don't know. Let's try this again. Let me know if this sounds any better, because I don't, like I say, I'm not going to put those headphones on, which I mean would probably be the smart thing to do to minimize the time that it takes. But let me know if y'all hear the sound better, if y'all y'all can hear it, and I'll just go off what y'all say. And I'm mad because I said a whole bunch of stuff earlier, and it was cool stuff that I said, and now y'all don't get to hear it because I don't remember. Are we still having the same issues? I don't know. Matter of fact, that sounds good? Okay. All right. So now, even though it's going slow as shit. All right, so, okay, so cool, good. All right, thank you. So let's start over from the very beginning. Okay, that time it was my fault. That was the click of a button. That was my fault. See, I keep doing these long rants, and I think I'm saying good stuff, and then y'all don't hear any of it, then I don't want to say it again. One time it was a joke. I bamboozled myself that time. All right. Okay. Let me know. Hopefully we're good now. I unromaned myself, and we'll go from there. Speaking of Roman, shout out to Roman. I ain't even shout out nobody who was in the thing earlier. A couple of things to blame, but mostly my fault. So we'll just take that L. Let me bring the chat up. I can't even see the chat. All right, cool. No, that ain't it. See, y'all in here, like, we still ain't got to the conversation. All right, let's just get into it. Tonight, man, look, shout out to everybody in here. I ain't finna shout out everybody. Y'all know I love y'all. I know I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I know y'all waiting. Y'all like, get to the goddamn conversation, Honcho. We've been sitting here listening to you, not listening to you. You over there playing Mr. Mime and shit. So tonight we're talking about the WPR, right? If you don't know what a WPR is, I've mentioned it before a long time ago, might have been in a Kush Den, but a WPR is a Wack Pipe Report. And a Wack Pipe Report is when you, as a man generally, females can get WPR, but it's not a pipe. Well, this is that month, and we are living in a new America. But anyway, their P stands for something a little bit different, right? But, let me see. Okay, cool. But women can get WPRs too. But I mean, mainly we're talking about the fellas tonight. But I'm sure, as the conversation goes on, we'll get into that. But the reason I say this, right, is because, especially as a man, that first time that you may hook up with someone new, or it might be a new relationship, it could be, something serious, it could be a one-off, it could be anything, right? You got to make a lasting impression, right? You have to make a lasting impression. Otherwise, you might not get another go-round, right? And so what you want to avoid at all costs, what is it? It's like a Bacardi rum drink. But, you want to avoid the WPR at all costs, because what happens, and especially nowadays, and I'll tell you all about the origin of the WPR. Excuse me. Good thing I got a phone call. Because nowadays, WPRs go into the group chat, right? And we know what happens when things go into the group chat. They go viral. Back in the day, WPR might have been spread through the school. It could have been, in the neighborhood. It could have been on the job site. It could, depending on, where you're making these connections, depending on, where the mutual friends lie, I guess. But now, you get a WPR, it's going on the internet. And it's going to be on one of them single women sites where they talk about all the men who are terrible, but really it's still, we all know it's the women that are terrible. But anyway, so you don't want to get a WPR because that goes on your permanent record, right? And then you got to figure out what went wrong. So we as men want to avoid those at all costs. So you're saying, okay, well, tell us about the origin of the WPR. Well, happened a long time ago. I want to say junior high school, might have been high school. I want to say maybe it might have been high school. Anyway, in my apartments, there were some chicks who were from out of town. And so, one of my homeboys, he was a shooter. I'm not saying that he necessarily hit, more of like a Tommy gun type of guy. You just spray in the direction and hope something hits, you know what I mean? But, no, I do have some though, Miss Sarah. I do have some tres generaciones. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I got a little buzz going. I like this stuff a lot, actually. That might be my new favorite tequila. It's right there with it might be. I think it might be. But so like I said, we're hanging out in the evening, as young men tend to do at around that age. And so my buddy, the shooter, he went and shot his shot. It was unsuccessful. But apparently, two of them, they were interested in me and one of my other partners. So, that whole little situation ends up going down, whatever. The shooter, realizing that, we got easy. It's always like that hating type of dude, the same type of dude who will tell the chick, well, you let so-and-so hit, why not let me? Those are the wackest dudes on earth, right? Those are like the worst type of people. You know what I mean? That use your name to try to get in the door, right? That's why, I'm a gentleman, right? You never kiss and tell, because people will try to use things against you, even your supposed partners, right? Because it's a dirty game out there. Like, one, the dating game is already, it's the shittiest shit going on, right? Like in the world, like it's worse than the war in Ukraine. The dating game in America is the worst shit shaking. Like it's hell on earth, right? But when you have individuals like that who don't necessarily have game or don't necessarily have a mouthpiece and can't speak for themselves, they use weird ass tactics like that, right? And it's kind of a double-sided thing. Not only do they name drop you if they know you might have been fortunate enough to get some access, or you might have been fortunate enough to participate in some nefarious activities, but then even if that outcome is unsuccessful for them, they'll turn around and LOD, right? And if you don't know what LOD is, well, shame on you. WPR, I'll give you, you might not know because it's not a popular term, but if you don't know what LOD is, then definitely shame on you. And if you LOP, you're the worst type of person. But for those who don't know, LOD means lying on your dick, right? And so the same dude who will use your name to try to get some action, once that fails, and flip the script, he'll turn around and tell you, oh yeah, I got that, I did all this stuff. And it didn't. It doesn't really matter. Like, I don't care what people do. It's none of my business, right? It's not getting me a nut, so I don't really give a shit. But, so you don't want to associate with people like that. But anyway, I had a homeboy like that, and it was one of many situations. He didn't fry that situation, but there was a few other. He was basically a hater, right? I had to learn that sometimes you had haters in your circle. You think of your friends, really not out for your best interest. They're just looking for whatever crumbs they can get off you that fall by the wayside, or try to use you as a stepping stone, or whatever it may be. Anyway, so like I said, he goes back doors, and I guess whatever, people do what they do in those times. And I guess he didn't get a satisfactory outcome. So anyway, he came back. I said, we chilling at my other partner's house. And he's like, yeah, she said, I'm not gonna go. He basically said it wasn't good. And so my other homeboy was, oh shit, man, that's fucked up. And I was like, what happened? He's like, man, you got a WPR. And this is my first time ever hearing of it, right? It might be like maybe 10th grade. I'm like, here, what is a WPR? And he says, a Wack Pipe Report. And I said, it's but you don't want to get one of those, right? But it's genius. It's actually it should be this should be in the Urban Dictionary. I don't know if it is, but it should be if it's not. I need to figure out how I can put it in there like a Wikipedia. But, right? So, oh yeah, I'm on the wrong thing. Because I got the wrong thing. I got this. This is not like my old setup. My old setup had a bunch of shit going on, so I gotta kind of flippity flappity. Just a second. Here's the thing, and then we're gonna get to the real conversation about the WPR. What I like about YouTube now that I've been gone, and I've come back, I see that they changed the way they kind of do the usernames. It actually makes it easy. I wish this would have been a thing way back when we kind of, were a more active community. And again, this is on me, because you kind of have the ability to tag, you have the ability to tag individual subscribers or people who have a channel. You can tag anybody now, so that's actually pretty cool. And I think that's gonna be handy in the near future. But I don't know where Misty is. I'm gonna tag her. I was gonna tag her and Brett on a post the other day. I just never posted. So, anywho, the WPR, right? So you don't want to get those. And again, as a young man, you can kind of bounce back from it depending on where you are, what your situation is. You don't want to get too many of those in your hometown or your neighborhood because, again, women talk just like dudes talk. People talk, right? Which is kind of weird. I don't know. But, hey, you want to share your business? Cool. If you want to talk down, whatever you want to do. It's because people share the good and they share the bad, right? And what can happen is you you put out too much of your business, people who are not involved in that business take that information and they utilize it to their benefit somehow, right? So you share bad information about somebody, a WPR, whatever, they use, oh, so-and-so, fuck so-and-so, it wasn't good, blah, blah, blah. Or you take a situation where, say, ladies, you got some good action, you went back to the group chat, you told all your homegirls, this, that, and the third, and now what you don't know is your homegirl is backdooring outside of that group chat, trying to slide in the DM or trying to position herself so she can get some of that same action. So you have to be very careful about what you share with people, what you say to people, about your life, about your sex life, about your finances, about anything. You know what I mean? It's all, you have to guard this information. Information is very important. Small details, all these things are extremely important. Like, I used to point out to a certain individual, like when we'd be riding and you ride down the highway, I'm pretty sure it's like this everywhere, but I know in Houston you see a lot, and if you're a single mom, don't do this. It's super stupid. You make yourself a target when you put those little, I hate the little stupid family stickers on the back of like vehicles. Like, if you're gonna put that on there, put a man sticker on, even if you ain't got no damn, make it an imaginary man, because anybody who's trying to target you, who's trying to pick you up, look, hey, there's this lady, she's a soccer mom, and her 3 daughters, it's a house full, no man's gonna stop me, right? Like, y'all put this information, like, people wanna be known so badly, and they want to, like, you're putting out information that can fucking harm you. Like, you gotta be very selective about the things you say and do, or, it can get real bad, right? So, you gotta be careful, right? You can't, and I agree, you shouldn't. Like, I share intimate info with people I'm intimate with, right? That's about as far as it goes. For whatever particular reason, it's going to have a direct purpose. It's going to serve a direct need, hopefully to the benefit of both of us, or some understanding, whatever it may be. But as far as just telling everybody everything, now I've told a lot of stories in here, but if you notice when I tell a lot of stories, I do leave out certain pertinent details, right? Because there have been stories I've told about people who've probably come in here and watched the shit, or have a certain understanding about it. So it is what it is. So I got a couple of questions, right? And I need to check, make sure the line's still working. We'll see if we can take some calls. Like I said, I know it's probably still buffering a bit, and I don't know if it's dropping as much as it was. It looked like the percentages, because it was like an 80% drop rate earlier. Now it's looking like about a 45. But like I said, we'll try to open up the line, see what we can do. It's not going to be, especially after all the sound issues. Maybe got an hour and a half, maybe 2. What I was saying one of the times the sound went out is, like, I have been up since yesterday, right? Just had a bunch of stuff to do, getting ready to leave, and then so by the time I got some of the stuff I needed to get done last night, it was late. Getting up at 3:30 in the morning to go get ready for work, it's like there's no point in going to sleep. So I have been pushing through it. So if I fall asleep on y'all on stream, y'all will be all right. It won't be the first time. We'll be all right. But like I said, so here's the questions I have. 2 questions. We're going to start off quite simply. One for the ladies and one for the fellas. Now, and I open up the line, and I need to put the headphones and stuff on right here. This can be your basis for your call if you would like to share the story. If you wouldn't, fine, whatever. But the question for the fellas is, have you ever received a WPR, and how did you handle it? Ladies, your question is, have you ever given a man a WPR, and why? I think that's very easy questions to be answered. I don't think they're very difficult. So if I open up the phone line, I expect to get some calls, right? I think this is very, very simple. I've had a WPR. Now, here's the thing, and the ladies actually got a secondary question for you. If you gave that man, or if you have given a WPR initially, did you allow a follow-up opportunity, or is a WPR on an initial attempt finite? You know what I mean? That's what I would like to know, right? So Dan, the motherfucking man in the building. So I think these are very easy premises to go off of. I don't think it's anything. Well, it's always way more embarrassing for the life as a whole is, Phil, we already know. There's no point diving into this discussion. We always got to take the brunt of stuff, and the ladies just be sitting there looking back, look at them. They're terrible, but they don't want to say nothing because we don't want them secrets to start spilling out. But we ain't gonna get into that. It's all good. We love the den. The den ladies would never do such things. Ladies who love the den would never do terrible things. We know they're all angels. We know they're all saints. We know they're all wonderful people, right? So now I put the number up. I'm gonna put the number up in just a second. I actually got to connect the headphones, make sure all that's working. There was something else I was going to say. So that'll be the premise. Very easy. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know how deep you are. Still got stuff I need to set up. I'll be honest, I haven't been setting up some of the more little detailed side stuff. And certain stuff I used to have set up off screen that I didn't. And for those who are asking, right, I put it in the Discord and I said there was no real prize being offered, but if anybody could guess where I was from the picture. But since then, I've tagged it in a couple of things on Instagram. So, there's really no excuse if you don't. But behind me, I know it's a little bit harder to see. Maybe we can do something during the day. We'll see. So maybe you get a better view. But I got to point out, put the right shit in the right place. I'm probably putting this one actually is the straight one. Behind me is Lake Travis, right? And it's a beautiful view. I've never been here. I've stayed in Austin once, right? For a very brief period of time. That's actually because I was going to San Antonio and hanging out at SeaWorld. Stayed in Austin, but actually went to San Antonio. So didn't really do anything in Austin. But, it's really cool, very hilly, but it's kind of inspiring, right? It's good to have changes of scenery because it changes the way you think about things. It changes the way you look at things. It gives you new forms of motivation. So it's very important to do things like that. But, all right. I think I have the headset together. We're going to find out together if it's working or if it's not. Hey, I got it in the hole on the first try. No WPR. Anyway, I won't tell nobody. All right, hopefully everything's working smoothly. We're going to find out. We fuck up together. We all players in the den. We fuck up together. We fix it together. Yeah, and make sure, y'all gotta have some, this is Talking Dirty After Dark. You gotta have something interesting going on. So if you got a terrible story, I don't wanna hear it. All right, before I put the number up, let me make sure the damn other thing is working. I don't even know where it's at. Anyway, like I said 1,000 times, even when the shit was muted, I hope that y'all are all having a wonderful day. And if you're not, I pray that things get better for you. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, whatever you have planned. I was going to throw a question out there, too, also, because, like I said, my deal has been, especially with the den, is because my work schedule is done. Well, let's do it. Let me make sure I got this properly set. Hold on un momento, porfa. Yes, can you hear me? Yeah, so I don't have it set up properly. Well, it was Miss Bell. I guess everybody can tell. Let me make sure, because I have it set up slightly differently from when I had Broderick on. Man, that was a great conversation with Broderick the other day. I know the sound was a little bit, like I said, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna clean everything up, I promise, but just to the point where I can just hit the stream button and not have to do all the shit I probably should have done before the stream, during the stream, because I didn't realize that the shit was fucking up. So, it might be a good idea in the near future, right? I agree. Let me set up the settings on this and then we'll take some calls. Won't tell nobody. Okay, we should be good to go. That's that, and this is that. All right, cool. And that's good. So let's put the number on the, well, y'all can't beat the bill. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening? Hello. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hello?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello. I think Miss Bell can hear me. She just don't want to talk to me. She's just like, I don't want to talk to this black guy. Give me somebody else. I mean, I hear you. Let's, that should be the proper mic. I mean, everything should be good to go. So I'm not sure what is the deal. But anyway, so Miss Bell, well, technically she's first, but she might not be the overall first caller if we don't get this thing working. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, it's Belle. I got cut off the first couple of times while you were setting up.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Excellent. How are you doing this evening, Miss Bell?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. Became a grandmother again at midnight this morning.
What?
Well, actually, yesterday.
Where are all these kids coming from? Where are you guys obtaining these children?
My son and my daughter-in-law just had my grandson.
Okay. Did the stork deliver it?
So he's 24 hours old, not even quite 24 hours old.
Okay. So less than a day, baby.
Yep.
Okay. Well, congratulations. So, Grandma Bev, congratulations on that. So,
Thank you.
I have some questions, Miss Bell.
Sure.
All right. So, you're familiar and you understand the concept of the WPR, right?
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay. Where's the confusion?
In my day, back in the 80s and 90s, we used to call it the circle jerk, which meant that the girls would talk about the guys that they were sleeping with and giving good report, bad report, or whether you want to say a resume or a don't go there report. And then if the other ones were dating, then it was just like free-for-all shit. I never got involved in that because I learned a long time ago you don't sleep where you have your friends. And if you've noticed over the years, I've never talked about my mister, and I won't.
Yeah, I think there should be certain things that you should keep. I think there's a lot of things people should keep in house that they don't, and that's probably why we're in the current state of things that we are now. But
Absolutely.
okay. Well, I think it's a slight differentiation. So with like circle jerk means something completely different now.
I after I said it, I realized that. But to me, the other thing I always thought of too is it's almost like a thrift store. Somebody's already had them, so you're buying used product.
So I'm gonna write something down because we're gonna not circle jerk back to this, but we're gonna circle back to this in the near future. Okay, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
you know I got some Bellisms going, as y'all kids would say about me.
Yes, let me just write that down. The thrift store. Can't even see my glasses foggy. It's hot out here. Used product because I'm
Get that notebook.
I have a small notebook with me. I didn't bring my.
There you
my
go.
Notebook. So.
Like all men, be prepared all the time. Good Boy Scout rule.
I'm gonna bring that statement back later on, and I promise y'all, when I do bring it back, it's not gonna be well received, but it's gonna be perfect for another topic in the near future. Okay, so
Got no problem with that.
So let's Miss Meat, you're a Wack Piper. I know Miss Meat came on here and talked about Wack Pipe. Anyway, we'll get to you in a little bit, Miss Meat. Good to see you. But so have you ever, and we're gonna keep the mystery out of this, prior to marriage, in your circle jerk, have you ever issued a WPR on someone that you were intimately involved with?
No. Because the fact is that one man's trash is another man's treasure, or one woman's trash is another man's treasure.
Okay. So you feel like it's not valid to, maybe talk down on the skill set or the experience, or do you just kind of leave that out as a whole, either way?
Well, I mean, sometimes it's just things that wasn't worth even the deed that was done, and other times is that they might work out better with somebody else. You know, I at that time I don't hold regret. I made a choice, you know, and whatever. But the point is that one of the things I never did was listen to all the others and said, well, you know, he's X, Y, Z, and you know, he's free and easy, or as you know. The only example I can think of is college sororities and fraternities taking turns with either men or women, depending on the activity, and putting somebody's reputation on the line.
What kind of activities take place?
I just don't do that, because that's like putting somebody's job at risk. You know, you're putting somebody's reputation at risk.
But if it's something that somebody willingly did, are you really putting their reputation at risk, or are they putting their own reputation at risk?
If somebody was like a total douchebag, oh yeah, I have no problem saying something. But if it was something that I entered into by choice, that's my business.
So you said, you know, what's good for some is bad for others, or vice versa. So you were
But I also believe what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
So what's
Which
good for
means
the goose?
if you're in a committed relationship and one of them wants to go to the cabaret or the male review, then the other one has the availability to do that, which is a whole different story. But the point is that coming back to what you were saying is that if you have a bad experience, it doesn't mean you just put that other person's business in the street.
Okay. Have you ever been given a WPR?
I'm sorry, I just didn't hear you. What did you say?
I said, have you ever been given a WPR?
I'm not exactly sure what that means as me being a female.
Well, for the men, it's a Wack Pipe Report. For the women, it would be a Wack Pussy Report.
I kind of get that, but I still don't. Can you give me a definition? This is one of those places that I'm really out of touch.
Well, there's a lot of different ways. Pussy could be very bad, right? So it could be hot dog in a hallway bad. It could be odorous bad. It could be dry.
Oh, no, that's always in check as far as that goes. And the thing is unless it's been my choice, I've always had repeat situations.
So you put it down on them, so they always came back.
Yeah, there was never a question of that part of it. The relationship aspect is something totally different than putting out for sex.
Do you think that sex leads to relationships?
No.
Why not?
I think that it can be a connection, but I don't think it's the whole connection.
What percentage of the connection do you believe that sex is in a relationship?
10%. I've always said that. I'm consistent about it and always will be. Because there's got to be more to tie a person or two people together than just physical intimacy.
Who do you think values sex more in a relationship, men or women?
Honestly, I think that it could be 50-50. And the reason I say that is because not all straight people think the same way. I mean, not all people in general think the same way. You know, you've got some men that are very old-fashioned and, you know, knight in shining armor stuff, and you've got some women that are ball busters. So it just can go either way.
Who do you think are worse, men or women? I mean, just as overall people.
Honestly, I think men can be, and this is a general statement, can be more physically destructive, but I think that in general, women can be more psychologically destructive.
What do you think is worse, psychological or physical?
Psychological, because the scars don't show, but you still have to make sure the baggage is in check to get into a new relationship. And it's not something that you want to put out there that somebody hurt you and that you're vulnerable, whether you're a male or a female.
Okay. So, have any of your friends ever shared a WPR with you? Maybe they've received one, or maybe they talked about a gentleman that they were involved with.
Oh,
Has it?
sure.
Okay, what's the worst one you've ever heard?
Just the dude was nasty and didn't wash. I mean, seriously, and I was like, and you went back?
So,
Why?
they don't like little musky balls. That's not a cool thing. That's a no deal.
Yeah, this is just a little more than that, but
Little ball cheese.
yeah, but I mean, the guy had a reputation of just, just being a real, not having it together.
So, was it like a hygiene thing, or was it a behavior thing?
Yeah. No, it was a hygiene thing.
So why did she have multiple encounters with him? Is she hygienically challenged too?
Honestly, I think she had a bit of hard-on for him, so, I mean, it was what it was. Eventually,
She
they
may have
ended
had
up
the hard
going
on for
together.
her.
She had the hard on for him. I mean, sometimes women, we talk about men, what is that called? There's a word, and we've used it before in the den.
Kings?
Cuckold?
Oh,
Cuckold.
yes. Very familiar with
And, sometimes women get a hard on for a good dick. And this is what happened with them.
that. What do women consider good dick, Miss Bell?
Never a question of getting a good orgasm.
Okay.
If you got to think about it, then I'm not doing something right. If it's all just the pleasure of the men and not thinking about the woman, then why do we stay?
You don't think some women just like being used?
Well, that's more of a self-esteem issue than it's getting what you need or what you want.
But what if they're pleasers? Some people are pleasers in bed. Some people may just want to be
You can be a
big
pleaser and
pleasers.
still get your needs met, Honcho. I mean, as most of you men say, if there ain't anything in it, why am I there?
Because I'm in it.
I mean, you're in it to get something. You're in it to get a nut off, right? So why shouldn't women be?
Because we do all the work. Women don't do anything. So why do they deserve to get?
Oh, really? I
so
think
why
that
should they-
just depends on the partnership you have. That's making a very general statement about maybe not all women.
But see, I've been watching adult educational entertainment since the age of who knows, right? And from my perspective, it seems like the gentlemen have to do all the labor. I mean, this is a labor-intensive job, right? There's actually been a meme or a little thing going on TikTok where women take the role of the man and try to simulate the missionary position for a couple of minutes or whatever, and you see many of them break down and tire out and can't handle it. So, like I say, men have to do all the work, and why should they have to be concerned about, a woman getting out? Maybe she can figure that out on her own, right?
Not that I would know anything but about straight men, but that just sounds like a cop-out.
Why? Why is that?
Things can get a lot more interesting than that. I mean, it may have been a few years since I've seen some action, but that doesn't mean it's got to be boring.
What's not boring in your opinion?
Knowing that I'm still smiling when I get up in the morning for at least 3 days.
3 days. That sounds like he took you to Pound Town. Okay. So I'm not even going to dive into that. Interesting. Okay. So as people kind of get older with things, is there still the same expectation or the expectation of results that you may have gotten at a younger age? Do you still hold your partners to that level of accountability at an older age?
Seeing as we've discussed the fact that I'm sitting on the porch, I can only make observations about what I see about my age group. And I think that the availability of sex for them is in a different bracket because of the fact of most women being in menopause. it's just harder to balance that with men my age still having kids that are toddlers and small children. I mean, you get 90-year-old men that are having kids now.
That damn Viagra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I'm 54.
So do you feel like menopause limits a woman's sensuality, or does it increase it?
The only thing it does is it gives you more days of the week that it's available if you're already through it. It doesn't mean that you still don't have to wear condoms and get checked for STDs, because there's a higher percentage of STDs in assisted living facilities than there are in some high schools.
But so there's a principle a lot of people live by these days, and I'm not sure if you ever heard of it, but it's called Raw's Law, right? So, if you're not at risk for having children, what do you need a condom for?
STDs and AIDS are still factors. I mean, you don't lose the fact that sexually transmitted diseases aren't still available just because you can't get pregnant.
Yeah, just they got pills for that. Just take some pills.
Yeah, pills are for preventing pregnancy, not necessarily you want to be on a constant antibiotic.
I mean, I got that. You see the commercials they have, what are the prep commercials, and they always have the other individuals, and those commercials are always very interesting. Just take preventative measures. Why not? Why do that?
And in my age group, HIV is still a factor. I mean, you still have to be responsible.
I mean, I don't think anybody respects AIDS anymore. It's all about cancer now. That's the new cool thing. I don't think people care. Like, honestly, people are really reckless, because you do have supplements or whatever you want to call them to, I guess, extend your life. You do get that.
Interesting. It's funny is I'm old enough to remember when people would actually take tests before they actually slept together back in the 90s.
How long did it take to get those results back?
What?
How long did it take to get the results back in the 90s?
Anywhere from a day to 3 days.
I'll be honest with you, Ms. Bell. If I'm in the mood right now, I don't know if I can wait a day to 3 days for some results to come back. I'm going to have to take my shot. I'm going to have to take my risk.
Well, that's what you call long-term satisfaction, not a quickie.
Great. Well, we were having a good stream and Heidi showed up. Okay. All right. Well, do you have any other thoughts or feelings on the WPR or how people handle?
Well, actually, if you get a bad report, I think that it would be on the quickie list and not on the long-term list. You might want to try it out, but it doesn't mean you'd want to buy the bull for cheap and little.
So, what if you try it out and you like it?
I might rent it. Doesn't mean I want to own it.
How much
doesn't mean I want to buy it.
So you don't feel that maybe renting it, especially let me not guide the question. So you don't feel that renting it for an extended period of time eventually leads to feelings on someone's behalf?
I honestly believe that it doesn't matter what relationship, one person's always going to catch more feelings than the other. And it doesn't matter whether it's straight, gay, or whatever. And it happens. It doesn't mean that there's not mutual affection, but generally there's always one person that has a little bit more in it than the other one.
Okay. And here's my
And usually everybody knows. If they're blind to it, then they're not looking at it.
Okay. Shout out to Young Ken, see you in the building. So who do you think a negative report or a negative outcome impacts more, men or women?
Actually, still women, because of the fact that they're still regulated on reputations. That doesn't matter as much as it did. It doesn't mean it still doesn't matter at all, and that's a huge difference. Women today don't have to be virgins, but if they've got a score of 10 or more, they're still going to be put on the shit list.
So you feel
And it still comes down to reputation. That's all kind of really what you're talking about, isn't it?
yeah, I think so. So you feel like it's unfair that a man who is promiscuous versus a woman who's promiscuous is looked at differently.
Personally, I don't. I think men can be just as slutty as females. However, society still holds women to a higher standard, straight women to a higher standard.
What about bi women?
I'm sorry, what?
I said, what about bi women?
I don't know. Never really thought about it because I wouldn't go there, so I just, not my preview.
So do you think women are ugly?
No, I'm not attracted to women. That's just not. Do I find women beautiful? Some of them, yes. Do I find them interesting and intelligent? Yes. Sexually, am I attracted to them? No, not my thing. And I'm okay with that.
What if a woman hit on you? How would you respond to that?
When I did, I was very polite and said, "You're not my type." And it happened to be a former boss.
Did she?
And she happened to be very drunk. So the next day was definitely her hangover, not mine.
I was going to say something crazy. I'm going to save it. All right. Okay. So, did you ever consider filing any type of situation with HR or harassment charge, or you just kind of be
You're talking about in the 90s. Sexual harassment didn't even start even getting talked about till the whole Me Too thing. I mean, I'm sure it was, but the point is when she sobered up, she apologized, and it was like, sometimes people do stupid shit when they're inebriated or they're, taking something. So I just wrote it off, and it never happened again.
Okay. Well, Miss Meat, you live in Atlanta, so that's the whole response to your question. Atlanta. That's all I have to say. Okay. I want to double back to the thing we said that women are held to a higher standard. You feel like women are held to a higher standard today than they were maybe in the 90s or early 2000s?
I think it's relaxed, but I think that it's still a pedestal thing. I think there's still some culture of straight men that want to be able to have their I don't want to say Stepford wife because that's going a little too far, but their arm candy or their person to be above reproach. They don't care if they look like a dog, but the person that they're with needs to make them shine.
So do you feel like if a person is maybe supporting a person, their significant other or whatever, that they have the right to lay some expectations on them?
No, because that is emotional blackmail. And that doesn't allow the other person to be a human being and make a choice of their own. And then they become financially entrapped into a relationship.
But are they really financially entrapped if they just could leave? Or is it that they want the finances more?
There's a lot of reasons that women, honestly, Huncho, the biggest reason that domestic violence is what it is because people can't financially afford to get away sometimes. And they stay in the situation because walking away costs them more financially, and they lose the status that they have than it is to stay and deal with the hell that they know rather than the one that they don't.
Who do you feel like has more to lose walking away from a relationship, a marriage, a man or a woman?
First of all, it depends on how toxic it is. Second of all, it depends on who's the aggressor. And third of all, really, if there's children involved, they're the ones that suffer the most.
What's up, Baker Man? Okay, okay, very interesting. You have any other thoughts that you would like to add to the conversation? I have no further questions.
Okay, just a funny one. When I saw you talking about Rack Pipe Report, I thought you were talking about Peyronie's disease when the male genitalia goes in all different directions. I wasn't exactly.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you
Yeah,
about that because we got caught off in another question. So, what do you prefer, the straight pipe or the bent pipe?
straight pipe.
I heard that little hook can hit them corners. So you let me know. I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure
it's
it
a possibility, but not within my wheelhouse, and I'm okay with that.
out. So is that a deal breaker for you? Is that a red flag? Is that a no go?
Not necessarily. Again, it comes back to not what a man has; it's how they use it.
So, what is there a such thing as too small?
I'm sure there is.
Is this something that you've encountered?
Um, since it's been so long, I can't even actually answer that with any honesty. And this is one of those I declined to answer on the fact that I'm taking the fifth.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. I understand. Okay. Okay. Well, if that's all you got there, Miss Bill, I definitely appreciate your call, getting everything started as always. So I thank you so much for that. And I thank you for answering some of the off-the-wall questions that I inquired and being a good sport
And I
about it.
and I definitely want to hear from some of the other women because I know that I put a lot of shit out there, so I don't have any problem with somebody rebutting it, rebuking it, or adding to it.
Yeah, the women ain't gonna call. They be over there acting like nuns. That.
Shit, then it's time for the men to step up.
Yeah, I guess I should put the number on the screen. That does help. Miss Bell just know the number. So she got once the phone call start, I forget to put the number up because I be thinking people got it. So I guess I should put that up there. All right, there you go. Okay, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Miss Bell has ignited their fire, and if not, then
Absolutely.
we'll see.
All right, night, Honcho.
All right, Miss Bell, thank you for calling. You have a wonderful evening, ma'am. Shout out to Miss Bell. See, I should not be allowed out in public. Oh no, not that. See, this thing's like hitting the corner. Hold on, I got you. What's this thing doing? What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hey man, yeah, I'm here.
Dan, the motherfucking man with the plan. How you doing this evening, Mr. Dan?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right. You know, it's Friday. I'm just chilling. Where you at right now, bro? I seen the picture you posted earlier in the Discord. It looks beautiful, man.
I am at Lake Travis in Austin. So it's
Nice.
actually pretty cool. I'm sitting here looking enviously. Well, not right now. I think everybody's gone in for the night. But earlier, a bunch of people were out in their boats and their little pontoon boats and their little speed boats. All that. I'm jealous. Look at all these nice Caucasian people in their watercraft. You know.
It's funny you mentioned that. When I go on like my runs, yeah, I see the same thing. There's like a yacht club, and yes, it's primarily Caucasians. I mean, I don't go in there. I just run by it, and I see a bunch of yachts out there and shit and stuff like that, little buoys and shit. Yeah. I've seen a few Negroes, once or twice. They got the smaller shit out there, but they out there though. Yeah, they out there. So shout out to the black boat people.
Yes. Somebody has to break the barrier, right? Somebody has to cross the line. So
Yeah.
they got to open up the door for the rest of us.
Say, motherfucking right, yes. Like Jackie Robinson and the Negro League.
Yes. Oh man, that's a very interesting conversation because there was a comment somebody made about. We're going to talk about that Jackie Robinson thing in the near future. There was a statement somebody made about that how they felt he did more bad overall for black athletes than he did good. And they had some very interesting.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they felt like they were talking about how, kind of basically after Jackie crossed, things started deteriorating for the Negro leagues. Some of the better players started leaving, and so how overall then there's no more black owners and things like that. But it's a very good conversation. So but we'll get into it another time.
Okay.
But have you ever had to deal with a WPR situation?
Hell yeah. Now, is this like a female said it or a dude said it? I've had both, in one way or another.
A female said it. So it would be like, say it's a situation where, you got an opportunity to get frisky and maybe things just didn't go out. Sometimes, men can mentally get a little too far ahead of themselves. Sometimes it's just not your day. Different things can happen. And it turns out bad for you, right?
Yeah, I got one. Hell yeah.
Okay, what you got for us?
Hell yeah. All right, so, and I explained to everybody, so I've been to college twice. I'm still stupid, but, I one was student loans, the other one's GI bills, so I ain't paid for shit. Thank you, taxpayers. So first I went to college. I was young, dumb, and full of liquor, essentially, and some other shit, too. And there's a chick I met, I was friends with one of her friends, and then started hanging out with her for a while, and I didn't really look at her that way just because I felt she was like a friend, and she was kind of crazy as shit, and she was messing with one of my other friends. This one dude who, I mean, we fell out. It's just funny how your friendships change over the years. Somebody's like, oh, that's my dude. Then like a year later, like, man, fuck that motherfucker. It's funny how that shit happens. Yeah, that's just life. So anyway, I don't know how the conversation started one night, and I forgot who said it. I think she said something I said something like, if I had an opportunity, I smashed like motherfucker. I said some shit like that, drunk as shit. She's like, oh, really? And then, like a month later, I was watching a movie at her house. I don't know how I ended up in these situations. And we started, getting it on. And then, I remember I woke up the next morning, with my drawers on her bed. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? And she's like, oh, don't you be saying that shit. Your ass passed out last night. I was like, wait, what? So, I was about to get my stroke on, and, she was on top of me, and then I passed out, man. Hey, man. Hey.
It happens. See, it's really her fault. She was trying to take advantage of you, and it didn't go right. So I blame her. That's not your fault at all.
Yes. I appreciate that way to turn the story. No, I had whiskey dick. That's real shit, man. I had passed the hell out, bro. That's what it is, bro. So yeah, that was a legitimate WPR. I earned that motherfucker. Absolutely.
And the W is for whiskey.
She did tell. Oh yeah. Thanks to Jack Daniels. Absolutely. Now here's the thing, though. She did tell one of her friends, but I don't think she's aware of this. But I smashed her friend too, so it ain't hurt me at all. So.
City boy. I see you. Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Well,
now I would say this. At that point in my life, I was a bit of a hoe.
Yeah.
I was a bit of a whore.
Okay.
I was making up for. Look, in high school, I didn't get no chicks, no action. I was busy trying to study and graduate and being a nerd. So I wrestled a little bit. That was it. My brothers were the ones getting all the action in high school and shit. I was scared. I put the pussy on the pedestal, as they used to say. I didn't talk to them like they're actually human beings. I was like, I was all nervous and shit. I don't give a fuck now. I really don't.
And
I don't give a shit.
Isn't that crazy? When you don't give a fuck, the odds improve significantly. When you do give a fuck, you just
exactly.
Yeah, you're left with socks and shit. But anyway, so okay. So you said she may have passed the information along to a friend, but little did she know you've already settled.
I already slept with her.
Yeah. So if you're giving fake Google reviews, I don't know how to handle that. Okay. All right. So, in a situation, have you ever heard of a situation where maybe a female, and of course we have to change the P, like OPP, where a female's had a WPR?
Oh yes. Now I've never done it because I was always shy about talking about who I slept with, at least at that point in my life. Now, but I don't get any names or addresses or Facebook or IGs or shit. So I'm not gonna say names, but I'm not that shy about it now. But I don't really have a avenue to talk about it except on this show. But I wouldn't talk about it at work. That's a good way to get an HR complaint. That'd be stupid.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that shit. I ain't talk about it at the gym. Like, what the fuck this nigga talking? Like, what's wrong with you? I'm doing that shit. But a Wack Pussy Report. I've certainly had more than one situation where I had a legitimate complaint. There was one chick I was with. She was basically a surfboard. She just sat there like a plank. while I'm
Dead
sitting
fish.
on top of her mutton and groaning and shit. And I'm sitting here, catching fucking spinal bifida trying to do whatever. And it's just whatever, man. I don't know. That's one.
Yeah.
Let's see another situation. Yeah, one. Actually, there was one girl I heard about. I know she threw it at me one time. I was with a friend at the time, which we ended up dating. So I had that much respect for, like, if there was a girl I was talking to, I would just talk to that one girl. There was a situation where like two girls were kind of like fighting for my attention one night. That was just a stupid night. It was really stupid. I'm not saying that to brag. It was just really stupid, and everyone was upset. It was goofy as shit. I'm so glad I'm over that dumbass phase of my life. But this one girl, I remember one of my friends, one of my frat brothers, he ended up getting with her, and he told me like it smelled like a garbage can down there, bro. I said, dog, really? Because she looked good. She looked good. I just didn't know she didn't take care of her down there. And I was like, bro, what you do? He's like, I still did it, bro.
Of
and
course.
I just shook his hand like, brother. yeah, brother.
Bro.
Hey.
Man, look, and here's the thing, and that's always a very disappointing situation, right? When you come across a chick, y'all been talking for a minute, and you didn't hype it all up, and then the opportunity finally comes, and women aren't ever going to say anything like that. And she's got bad interior odor, right? She's got a bad diet or something. She's eating all them damn Takis and hot chips. It's fucking up her guts, and it's just her inside odor is just it's permeating and it's terrible. I had a situation like that one. I couldn't do it, bro. Like I had to cut it out. I had to kick the broad out. Like it was a situation like, bro, you came in here with bad intent. Like you knew your shit was funky. Like. You have to be able to get a whiff somehow. Like this ain't your first instance of am I a little odorous? No, but you knew and this shit was like, man, it was. That's like I can smell it now thinking about it. Like it was so bad. Like, it was like the word. Like literally, I had to you have to go. Like put your clothes on and leave. And the smell was like still there after and so and then here's the crazy part. Let's talk about WPRs, right? And the niggas not giving a fuck, like you just said, your boy still smashed. I had this little dirty partner, and he came up. He said, "Oh, Gal's over here." I said, "Dog, don't do it, dog. That was the worst situation." And what did this nigga go do? Ran right after her. Basically, after she left, I'm like, dog, you're disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's one thing being nasty, and there's disgusting. That mother, you're disgusting. Nigga just told you this is the worst situation I've ever been in. Niggas still going around. Niggas will do anything for a piece of ass. So that's very unfortunate.
Amazing. It says one thing if you were surprised, like in your case, you were surprised, and like my friend's case, he was surprised. You didn't go through it. He did, but he didn't know he was walking into your former partner, your friend, dirty dude. Yeah. He knew what to expect. He just waddled right in there.
No, niggas don't give a shit. And then, like you were saying about not sharing, certain information in certain reasons, not only for the penalties. But like I said, you just got people who are supposed to be your associates, friends, cohorts, whatever, and they'll take that information. And like you say, something goes wrong, a year later, y'all not cool anymore. They'll take that information and try to use it against you, or they'll take that information and go try to run behind you, and this chick's fucking. And it's like I've seen it so many times. That's why I'm kind of the way I am. Like similar situation, I'll talk about situations, occurrences, but certain names, certain details, and certain scenarios are going to be left out. One, because I know there are people who know me in real life that occasionally watch, not so much, but occasionally, and that could always be a thing. And two, for the privacy of the person who was involved, and then like I say, three, just it's not the player thing to do. You got to be a gentleman of some sorts. If you expect to keep that kind of thing going, you fucking running telling all your business, it's kind of weird. But anyway, no, Kenneth, I did not want anything to do with that. She had to leave immediately. Like I'm talking about like. I attempted to be a dog. Like I didn't have enough dog in me to like go through with it. Like I was like, I just soldiered through it. Couldn't do it. Had to drop out. Like I had to drop out of SEAL school. Couldn't do it. It was terrible. Like, and I've never come across anything like that ever again in my life. Now I've come across some. I don't know. Women, we're gonna have to do a show about females and hygiene because I need to understand, right? Like, because it's been some situations in the past. I'm just like, maybe I don't know if it's a young girl thing. I don't know if it's an urban thing. I don't know if it's a the demographics, because it seemed like when I was, I don't know, it was some hit and miss shit going on at a younger age. Older, not so much occasionally, but I have questions like, I don't know, who taught you proper hygiene or what, I don't know, anyway. So there's
nobody.
Yeah.
They're winging it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them are. I mean, 'cause you got to think about the situation, the households certain groups of people are raised in, and you're barely getting information that helps you with everyday life. So you might not be getting the direct hygiene knowledge that you need. So, I mean, that's and we have to
And
suffer.
you know what? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, I said, and when you don't get it, we have to suffer. Guys like you and me have to suffer. You know, so that's unfortunate.
And you know that's the thing about it too. And this is kind of a segue into the school system. See, schools used to talk about stuff like this, like personal hygiene. And there used to be classes about this shit. Am I right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Like home, like I swear, like in like gym class, they'll tell the dudes put on deodorant, make sure you wash all your shit, wash that, you know. I swear, and I imagine they have the same thing for females, but they ain't doing that shit no more. You learn about, you know, the history of, you know, Cesar Chavez, some commie from Mexico or some shit, and then you learn about the great Mao Zedong, the butcher, the Chinese communist butcher. But you won't learn how to balance a checkbook. You won't learn about basic civics of at least your state, much less the damn country. They ain't got no home ec. There ain't no damn shop class. I know automotive, none of that shit. But man, look, okay, I'm done with my segue. I'm done with that. Back to the WPR. Okay, I had to just get that out there because if the parents are going to do it, that's where I would hope the public school system would step in to do that kind of shit. But they ain't doing that. That's not their concern anymore, which is, I think it's a goddamn travesty.
Oh yeah, the public school system is, if you have the ability, get your kids out of public school, period. Like,
yeah.
And it's not even just for the education, it's the other kids that are like, if you have the ability to homeschool your children or put them maybe in a private school or whatever, I implore everybody to do it because public education is, it's not going down. I mean, it's the residue left on the top of the drain at this point. It's down. It's gone already. It's just the little backwash or foam, whatever's left over. You got to put a little extra rinse to get down that drain. That's where we are right now. Like that's the public school system right now. It's pure trash. Like, I mean, no. I mean, another conversation for another day. But it's fucking terrible. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you know, speaking of WPR report. And female hygiene, and I ain't looking at the chat, so some of y'all females talking shit about me. I'll say this, you're absolutely right. Someone hurt me, I must be gay. All the comments you might be saying, I agree, it's all true. But anyway, that goes back to the sundress versus yoga pants thing. That's why I like sundresses more.
Yeah. Because
sundresses, they leave to let the thing air out. You know, if you're wearing the right kind of underwear, it absorbs moisture, and then the pH balance might be correct. I ain't a scientist. I remember seeing some shit on YouTube about that. About, you know, going to wear dresses, let the thing air out more, you know what I'm saying?
And I mean,
they're just amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, too. Yeah, you got to air out the peach pit, you know? You got to let that thing, you know, what's the word? You got to let it, you know, circulate. I don't think pants were designed for women in mind. I don't know how that works, but who knows? Again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a professor. I'm just another nigga talking shit on the internet. So,
Absolutely. Me too. Yes.
That's where.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So, you've had the WPR situation. You've seen the females in the WPR situations. Do you think people bounce back from that, or what do you think it causes? Is it a real damage, or does it depend on the situation? Like, or is it just people being people when it comes to stuff like this?
I think when you get older, a lot less people give a fuck about the WPR reports because and some, as Belle said earlier, she mentioned sex is like 10% of a relationship, in her opinion. Mm-hmm. I'd say it's a bit more. I can't put a percentage on it, but we'll say, I'll say a quarter to a third. Mm-hmm. You know, that's just me. But then people change over time. Maybe when you're younger, I know I was younger. I was, you know, on my young man shit, you know, trying to get it in. Whatever female was out there, I didn't have many standards back then. But I certainly have standards now because a lot of my friends who were doing that, getting it in shit then too, ones who didn't wear condoms, you do the syrup, something, not all of them. I'm not going to put all men down the drain like that. But some of these dudes who are smashing all the chicks in college, these dudes, I see one dude's medicine cabinet. This dude had like 14 different medications. I don't know what for. I didn't bother asking. I ain't looked up a name of any of those medications. That was a few years ago. But he's married, so I guess she's cool with it. They got like four baby mamas. Look, I ain't got one baby mama. I don't want a baby mama.
Yeah.
I've avoided that shit for 20-something years, and I'm going to keep on avoiding it. No, I don't feel comfortable being in that situation. And I'm not shitting on men that are baby daddies. I mean, there are some situations where this broad is insane, bro. And to save yourself the trouble, and sometimes you save that child's life, you have to leave her alone, bro. So just leave her alone. Yeah. You just put yourself on child support. Go to the court, put yourself on child support, and just pay through the state. Just give it to the state. They'll do whatever, and then they'll give it to her. Don't give her the money directly. Just go through the court system. That's how you handle that situation. At least that's one way to handle it. Yeah. But I just, people change over time. So I think, mattering on the situation you're in, you can come back from WPR. Like the whiskey dig incident I had, I definitely came back from that. That didn't really faze me any. That was like a small circle of friends that we were in. But I could go through. There's another circle of friends. I had like a few circle of friends I hung out with. You know what I'm saying? Like different situations I had with these friends. One I fell out with. One, I ended up like sleeping with like 2-3 chicks, and like I was kind of a hoe back then, bro. I'm not proud of it. And that's something
see, it's okay.
That's something I wish men would stop doing. You're right.
We can't be hoes. I mean, look, if black people can't be racist, then men can't be hoes, right? So we're just going to start making new rules for different things, right? So men can't be hoes because it just doesn't work. Doesn't make sense. So that's the new rule. When women say man sleeping around us, that's not true. That only applies to y'all. So it doesn't apply to us. Men are doing God's work.
There you go. And then something I was about to say, when it comes to like young men, I hope men get out, like, when it comes to like, if let's say you got a group of friends and then you got one guy who's kind of shy on chicks, he's not really that concerned with trying to, get laid all the time, let him be. If that's his life, let him live his life that way. That's cool with me. I wish I hadn't slept with half the chicks slept with, because like 3 of them I didn't remember the names. That's how pointless those endeavors were. It really was. So it's like, I think quality is more important at the end of the time. Yeah, I agree. In the day. I do in the end of the day, in my humble opinion. Yeah. But some people prefer quantity. And, hey, if you're looking for it, it's out there. There's a Craigslist. I don't know if that's still around. All these dating sites and shit. I mean, the quantity is out there. It's just, do you have the time to swipe right all the time? Just swipe right 40 times and someone to say yes eventually. Yeah. I don't have the energy for that. And I don't like leading people on. So I don't engage in that kind of shit. Yeah. But now I'm rambling about something else besides the WPR. So I don't know. I lose track easily. I have ADD.
No, I'm very similar. But like I said, no, it's a good point though. I mean, you can definitely acquire more WPRs doing too much. Because you may get into a situation just trying to get something that might not really be what you want. You're just doing it, and you're like, I really regret the situation I'm in. So it could be a thing.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I remember now. If you have like different sets of friends, or you live in one part of town, let's say you live in one part of town, you hang out here, you party here, and then like some incident happens and you did some wild shit. And I've seen this happen in Richmond with like people I used to hang out with. They'll do some wild shit in a club over here, or a strip club, especially strip clubs up there. Yeah. Wild as shit in Richmond, Virginia. They go over here, but then like they get kicked out of some shit. They just go 2-3 miles down the street and they go to a totally different bar / club area. Yeah. If you done enough wild shit, then all the bar owners are like, have you on like a blacklist. Like, he can't come in here. He shot this one club up. He beat this pistol up this one of the strippers in this other club. He can't come here no more. He's banned. Yeah, yeah. They out there. Them dudes. Yeah. So if you go to different areas, you can outlive a WPR. Yeah. Yeah. You can definitely outlive that. You can bounce back from that. That ain't shit. It's funny though, but if you get now, it's one thing for a female to give you WPR because you might have earned that. I know I earned mine. But if you said somebody like dudes trying to lie on you about your stuff, that's some other shit entirely.
Oh yeah. The dudes who individuals who say you were fortunate enough to use your God-given skills to make an arrangement with a young lady who was willing to facilitate your needs, and then say some random party finds out and they want the same thing. And what they'll do, you have those suckers who will try to use, you let Dan hit, why not let me hit? Like, or try to use that shortcut method. They'll
What
use
in the fuck?
Yeah, it's motherfuckers like that. They used to be real bad in high school. I know motherfuckers used to do that. It was
okay. I won't get it in high school. That's why I don't know nothing about that shit.
Yeah, and so it's like, people, and then so, and if that doesn't work out for them, of course, because what self-respecting chick, I don't care if you're maybe if you're a super hoe, well, I did let him hit, so I guess I got to let you fuck me too. But most women would be like, what's that got to do with anything, right? So, now he didn't salted your name because obviously, where did he get this information from? And then, like I say, those are the same type of dudes who will go back into a situation and say, oh, yeah, I fucked, I hit, and motherfucker went over there and brought her some chips and she kicked his ass out or some shit, and he'll tell everybody that he, had sex with her and things like that. And then so, I don't have a definite, but, LOD and lying on your dick. So I think that's the worst thing you could possibly do. I'd rather get a WPR than LOD. So, that's.
You know what? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, bro. I just remember this. Remember that chick I was talking about last show, the alcoholic chick who comes to my apartment all the time, and she irritated her my roommate. My roommate did not like her. I didn't care though. I was getting it. I was getting it in. Well, when we first started messing around, I remember like when I first met her, she was hanging with some other dude, and I was like, I didn't give a shit. It's college. Everyone's hanging with everybody. They probably slept together. I really didn't give a shit. And then like, one of the first times after we, do our thing, she started talking about like, we were sitting there, because I was a real alcoholic back then. I think after we had done smashing, we were drinking still, alky shit, straight alky shit. And like, she's like, oh my God, you're so much better than so-and-so. He has such a small penis. I was like, okay. So, and he left like 5 minutes, and I said, okay. I was like, okay. I didn't tell him, dude. I was like, hey, bro, Jake Broder is a very small penis. I ain't say none of that shit. I don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. But it was just funny that she was like telling on dude about his shit. But see, dude's rich though. Mm-hmm. And he's like part of like a really popular frat on campus. So that wasn't going to phase him one bit. Them chicks didn't care. He was smashing chicks all the time. They didn't care about that. They just wanted to be around him because he was a popular guy. So in certain situations, like me, I wasn't that popular. I had like moments of popularity. But luckily, when I got with a chick, I, put it down proper. Yeah. And, once in a while, a girl will tell something about me to a friend. But people like that dude she was talking about, gave him WPR, it don't matter to him because they're not with him for, his physical prowess in bed. It's because he's a popular dude and his parents got money. So at the end of the day, as long as your parents got money, you good. You good. Mm-hmm. So there you go. You definitely live with WPR if you got money. Shit.
Oh, yeah, money definitely surpasses WPR. Just go buy you some pussy. You ain't got to worry about none of that shit. Bitch, I'll buy.
There you go.
I'll buy a better looking broad, and who won't give me a WPR because I'm paying for it, just so you don't give a shit. So, boop de boop, bitch.
Be like Neil Brown. Cancel that bitch. I'll buy another one. That Neil Brown.
Exactly. So that's.
Yeah, man. But man, I've been rambling, but that's all I got, man. Look, it shit happens to everybody from time to time. Get WPRs. Definitely watch the hygiene, you know what I'm saying? If you want to trim down there, man and woman is up to you. No one likes coughing up hairballs, especially pubic hair. I sincerely, I don't. Yeah, just straight up. So, just take care of yourself, and yeah.
I'm a
and you can bounce some shit.
I'm a student of the school of Pimp C, There's nothing, keeping your hygiene and, keeping trim. But ladies, don't go bald. Like Pimp C said, fuck them razor bumps, bitch. Grow some hair and get legit. Okay? So, anytime y'all think about it, and y'all getting your little, what's that shit, the Nair, you're getting your little Venus razors out and all that about to tighten up. Remember the wise philosopher, Pimp C. Fuck them razor bumps, bitch. Grow some hair and get legit. Okay.
I love it. Man was a prophet, man. R.I.P. to Pimp C, bro. Straight up, bro. Hell yeah. Oh, Hunter, hey, check your cash out when you get a chance, man. I'm sorry out there gave you something to have some fun with. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. What do you think about the situation that's going on? This is a brief segue, just a quick thought. On the submarine situation. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to it. And I was almost going to get into it, but I'd like to hear your opinion, Dan, because I think you're a very knowledgeable person. You're always informed on these kind of topics.
Okay. I've heard a few things about this. Well, one, the memes, they're savage. It's wild out here.
What?
This the only reason I'm on Facebook. Look, these motherfuckers don't care, bro. Like, a bunch of rich billionaires drowned.
Yeah.
A bunch of rich white dudes that drowned. First off, two things. I think two of the men were Indian. I think one was like a 18-year-old kid or 19-year-old. So he just started being an adult.
Yeah.
He wasn't like a 40-some-year-old who decided to do that stupid expedition. I say stupid because of the vehicle they were in. And the CEO of that company, who was one of the passengers on board the doomed vessel, the submarine, he made a statement a few months ago about his vessel. He said like he wanted a young, diverse crowd. He didn't want to hire a bunch of old, 50-year-old white guys, old engineers, like naval engineers. I don't care if it's a 68-year-old lesbian. If they have the experience to make sure everything's done safely, properly, that we stay alive, that we go down there safely, we come back up safely, then that's who I want. I don't give a fuck what color they are. Okay? This is all that diversity, inclusion shit. It's fine in some aspects, but on other ones it's dangerous because you're not getting the most experienced, talented people. Look, you want to do that for like some movie or something? Okay, good luck with the movie. I mean, you saw how diverse. What's the movie that came out recently that was so diverse? Little Mermaid was very diverse. This shit's losing money. Yeah, so if you want to play with Disney's money, go ahead, do it. They're stupid anyway. They're wasting their money anyway. But when it comes to like building bridges, submarines, STEM, stuff like that, where people's lives depend on those decisions, you get the most experienced person. And the CEO was bragging about getting a bunch of young people who barely had any experience to the I guess they designed this particular vehicle, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But he has been recorded saying this. So that one's smart. That was not smart. Now, if they're I just want a smart move. And then he also fired somebody a few months ago for reporting safety violations. He like went to the board like, hey, look, this vehicle we're designing or these subs we're designing, there's some serious safety standards we need to address. And he got fired. So I'm sure just sitting there like, I tried to tell these motherfuckers, oh well. You know, hey, he tried to warn them. They didn't listen. Fuck them. And then that's one way to look at it. That's one way to look at it, you know. There's another thing. What was the other thing? I mean, that's basically all like, here's the thing. Now, from my understanding, and I don't mean to get political, from my understanding, the current administration knew that the submarine had imploded a few days ago, like the Navy reported it, and it got up to the administration, and they didn't say anything about it. Because the U.S. Navy had like heard something, because they have like, you know, sea boys and depth charters and stuff. They can see like the, you know, the explosions and stuff going underwater. So it's reported that they knew about it a few days ago, but didn't say shit.
That's crazy.
And they used it as a distraction. I don't know if that's true. I can post a video or two in a Discord explaining that situation because, a few of the bloggers are talking about it. Like, they knew this already happened a few days ago. They knew those guys were dead. They didn't say shit to distract from other current situations, like certain people's sons and the dealings with the Chinese and all, and tax evasion and gun charges and shit.
Yeah.
I ain't say no names.
Yeah,
I ain't say no names.
I heard some WhatsApp messages got leaked involving some certain names that people said weren't involved, but hey, Orange Man bad. Okay. You know, here we go. Okay.
Orange Man terrible.
Yeah,
Orange Man horrible. Yeah, man. A real bastard. Oh my god. Interesting times. Yeah, but that's the real I got the submarine, man. I hope they have some people who knew what the fuck they were doing. But seeing the results and James Cameron, the director, he did the movie Titanic. He actually has done a lot of he's been to that site, the Titanic site, a bunch of times, and he was like this blasting these dudes like, dude, I don't even know why they sent him out there to search for him. People already know that they were dead days ago. Like, he went off about this shit, and I mean, he's certainly, I mean, he's not like actually, he kind of is trained. He's done like 30 something expeditions down there. He did like the whole documentary on the Titanic, so he knew what he's talking about too. And literally on YouTube, the related list, BBC News. Missing Titanic said it was 40 hours of oxygen. No, that's 3 days ago. They've been dead. Yeah. They were dead, but they were dead around that. They were dead because they imploded. I think before oxygen ran out, they imploded. Yeah. And there's no bodies to find. It's over. Yeah. It's over. Yeah. So I mean, that's all I got, man. Just look, diversity, inclusion, equity, those are nice buzzwords, but in certain situations, man, that'll get you killed.
Yeah, straight up.
There's actually, it reminds me of, yeah, it reminds me of another situation. Florida, I think Florida International University, FIU, there was a bridge that was built there. I've talked about this before. There was a bridge that was built recently. It was to commemorate, not commemorate, it was basically in response to a student who was crossing the street to the university and got killed by a car. So they wanted to build an overpass over the main street that led into the FIU, the university there, Florida. I would say FIU. So they got like this like building company, and the building company they had a lot of diverse incentives, and are all female like designing crew. I mean, maybe not all females, but they were certainly touting that shit. And they decided to build the bridge based on. Now, here's what I never got about this. So you're building a bridge. If you're building a bridge, you want things like redundancy, you want a load-bearing structure. That's your things to focus on. They focused on having Wi-Fi on the bridge. They focused on building the bridge based off of origami designs. What? If I'm building a bridge, I'm not basing that shit on paper.
Hell
right?
No.
But they did it. They did it. And you know what? There were cracks in the bridge. People heard the cracks. People saw rocks falling down from the bridge. I'd say less than 3 days after the bridge was finally put, because they also tried new experimental accelerated bridge building techniques. Yeah. I want to say it was like less than a week that bridge crumbled, more like collapsed, and killed 6 people.
That's crazy. Progressive bridge builders.
Yeah. Yeah, progressive losses too. Fuck out of here.
Terrible. That's crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, in theory, these things sound good, but when properly executed, they more than likely tend to fail, and people, play stupid and wonder why. But you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. But you get what you pay for. You pay for woke, you get woke, or you get dead. I mean, yeah. It's like, and this I'm done with politics tonight. It's like instead of having police, you have the violence and interrogators or some shit. What is the name of these people that they're supposed to go to these scenes where this stuff's said and record what's going on? Do they report it to the police? Do they just write it down to the little trapper keeper? What do they do? Because they're not trained to, right? They ain't got no guns. Yeah. They have a whistle, but so let's say you got a nigga shooting up a club. Mm-hmm. This dude's right? Happens all the time. Happens a lot nowadays. Mm-hmm. And this dude opens up his book like, I'm gonna tell on you. Yeah. But he gonna say it out loud. I'm blowing the whistle.
Yeah, fucking this professional hall monitor.
Yeah, bro. Oh my God, that's it. Yeah. Motherfucking hall monitors.
Yeah.
No power, no authority whatsoever. No delegation to intervene in a situation to save lives or take a life if necessary. And this is reformative policing. Look, people are paying for these decisions. Bridges collapsing, submarines imploding, people get murdered, ain't no one there to respond and shit. Because look, if paramedics if there's a little active shooter, paramedics emergency people don't show up until the scene is cleared.
Yeah.
Really. They ain't gonna sit there and get shot and shit. No, you send the cops. Oh, well, we've done reformative policing. Well, I guess y'all better do reformative ambulance work, because I ain't coming at that motherfucker. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Go die. I'm not, good luck. I just say good luck. Good luck to it. I hope your progressive utopia works out. God bless you. Good luck, bro. That's all I got to say about that at the end of the day.
People gonna see real soon those services and these things that they've taken for granted and mistreated and abused. Once they're no longer there, they're gonna wonder why. They're gonna holler it's racism. They're gonna holler it's this, it's that, and the third. It's the nonsense that you guys support and promote instead of acknowledging the real problem. I'd rather do this nonsense. So they'll see real soon, because things are gonna get real crazy real soon. In my personal opinion, I think we're not even close to the worst of it.
Yes. Oh, there's always new deaths. It can always get worse. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it always gets worse before it gets worse. Yeah. That's something I believe now. Yeah, man, that's all I got, man. Bridges and subs and whack pieces and stuff. Life is interesting.
Yeah, man, Mr. I definitely appreciate it, and I appreciate the Cash App love, sir. Thank you very much. But yeah, bitches and bridges. Man. That's where we at in society now. Don't let the bitches build the bridges. Everybody probably want to throw bitches off the bridges, the way things been going. But, we just got to keep on trucking. That submarine thing probably the crazy, because I really have not really been too in touch with it. People have been sharing some information with me, and I've been kind of, it's just like, why? What do you get out of that? I don't know. But I mean, different strokes for different folks. Maybe they're real Titanic enthusiasts, so I guess who knows.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Man, it's rough city, man. Shit. I don't know, but yeah, shout out to the Titanic. They claimed 5 more victims. I mean, ain't that a bitch? 100-some years later, ain't that a bitch?
I saw a meme. Wow. You ain't lying. The memes have been these memes have been super ruthless. I was saying I wanted to do a video on it, but I'm not, because it's kind of been passed on. But do you feel like if the majority of these people weren't like rich people, that this situation would have been treated differently? Say if it was a promotional tour for maybe somebody paid for some people who normally couldn't afford to do something, to have a once-in-a-lifetime chance that they go down there and implode, but these were people from a poorer background. Do you think that the response would be the same as it has it been now?
No, because the company would have paid off some motherfuckers to keep them quiet. No, ain't no way. I doubt it. The CEO was so brazen with his progressive submarine of dreams to go down there. All right, bro.
Was it a yellow
submarine? And look, my condolences to the... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just curious. I was wondering if it was a yellow submarine, that's all.
Oh, right, yeah. Damn, bro. Man, bro. It's red now.
Yeah, oh.
That's for goddamn sure. I'm going to hell. That's cool. I've seen some of y'all there.
Oh, man.
Maybe y'all niggas see.
I've already made my reservations at this point, so I'm just, it's not a matter of if, but when. So that's what's going down. Oh, man. But yeah, well, Mr. Dan, as always, sir, I enjoy speaking with you. I enjoy hearing your point of view. I always appreciate your perspective, because you bring things in a different light and give me new angles to look at stuff. So I'm always very grateful for that, sir. I definitely appreciate it.
I'm honored, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. And whoever else is listening in, besides my friend, the gentleman Honcho, look, I say some offensive shit, but I like to think I'm coming from some state of clarity. I try to have facts to back it up, for the most part, unless it's some anecdotal experience. Like my weak dick reporter my whiskey dick report. I had a whiskey dick report, and that was my problem.
The WDR.
It is what it is. Yeah. Oh yeah, WDP. Yeah, WDR. Yeah. Oh, man. It happens time to time, bro.
The WDP is more of the female side of things. Too much whiskey ends up in a DP. And then she doesn't want to remember that.
No.
Yeah. Then there's 2 gentlemen in court losing their scholarships and their NFL opportunities. And then she finally admits that she was lying. That's how that happens. But anyway, that's, again, another conversation for another day.
Yep. She missed 2 years after the fact. Didn't miss like 5 drafts and shit. And it's over. Yeah. Ain't that about a bitch? Look, yeah, man, that's all I got, bro. I'm probably gonna pass out a little bit, man.
All right, man, Mr.
You have a good night, bro.
You too, sir. I appreciate you calling in, sir. And as always, great talking to you, and hope to hear from you very soon.
All right, likewise, bro.
All right. Salute to Mr. Dan. All right. I always enjoy talking to Dan. I'm telling you, I say it, and I'm not joking. It's not in a joking manner, because I've always been a fan from the very first call, from Dan's very first call, when y'all claimed he was white, and I told y'all Dan was a black man. Dan was an educated black man who spoke appropriately, and y'all got mad, and certain people in there are, he's not black, and he told y'all he had an afro, and he said it so casually and effectively, like, I knew it was real. It wasn't like some of you had to come, when I had an afro, like, and just y'all don't be listening. But what I love about Dan is the way Dan articulates things and the way he presents his views. I'd be all over the place. If I could articulate my points like Dan does, because I'd be having like 1,000 thoughts going, I don't be one to organized. I'm just off the cuff. Like, as it pops in my head, I'm saying shit. Like, I write down like the things that maybe y'all saying that may give me an idea for a future topic, or maybe something interesting that y'all may point out. I'm like, okay, let me go check that out. Things like that. But y'all know, if y'all have been here long enough, and pretty much most everybody in here is everybody in here is familiar. That I'm freestyling, just screwed up click. So fucking Heidi. But yeah, that's the thing I love the most. Like Dan articulates his points, his views in clear, succinct ways to even some of you who used to spend, all day in high school in the same class. I ain't gonna point no fingers. Some of y'all probably did, because I wonder about some of the perspectives that y'all bring to the conversation. Y'all was in that class in the back of the school where none of the regular kids went. You were special. I mean, everybody's special. But you were a little bit more special, But Dan presents arguments in a way that even you special ones can understand. So shout out to Dan the man. I do prepare like Trump. Here's my thing, right? And aside from I don't care about the politics. And we can get into the Biden-Trump thing. We'll get into that another day because, like I've always said, Biden is everything that people claim Trump was, and there's actual evidence. You could tell that before the election, but again, whatever. But my thing about Trump, and I've always said this from the jump, that I did like about him, because I've read his books and all that other stuff. He's a master bullshitter, right? But that's just a skill you have to have, right? That's a negotiation tactic. You got to be a master bullshitter, right? And he is excellent at that. Now, if the people, can't tell the difference between, the fact, the fantasy, the fiction, what's feasible, then that's on them, right? But I have no ill will towards Mr. Trump. I hope he runs again because I could use a good laugh, and I want to know what new nicknames, you know what I'm saying? What new nicknames he has for people. Nick, take your old ass to bed, goddamn Professor Trill. They're gonna be sending messages at 2:31 in the morning about angry single moms and stuff. But they're always valid, so I ain't mad at you for that. Shout out to Trill. All right. So this is what we gonna do. And shout out to Dan, I appreciate the love. It's been, I would say it's been a long day, but it's been a long days. Cause like I said, I ain't been asleep since. Yeah. Thursday morning? I'm lying. Thursday, because first of all, I work early Thursday. And there's some point I fell asleep getting home, and there was a bunch of up and down, along with cleaning the house and getting things prepared. And like I said, I waited to do my washing super late, and then that just fucked up the whole protocol. So anyway, it's time for me to get some rest, right? Yeah, I told you I come to y'all on location, right? Whoever's house I'm at, they're out of town. They posted on the internet, so I broke in, and I'm gonna camp here for a few days until they come back. They're gonna post, great vacation, and then you just leave, right? That's what you do. You just squat. You squat at the house for the weekend, and it's like a free vacation. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. But I don't work on weekends. That's great. So it's time to get some rest. But I do want to say thank each and every one of you guys. I know the sound early on was, again, me frying it and pushing buttons and things. But it was just doing some stupid shit on its own because I don't even know what fixed it. It was literally nothing. I literally didn't change anything. But then when it fucked up again, I did put the mute button on. Next potential then, I don't know. Oh, this was a question I was going to propose, right? Because this is another thing with my schedule being kind of janky. How would y'all feel about maybe slightly earlier dens, right? Instead of 9, 10, 8ish. How would y'all feel about dens that may, and again, still fucking up the schedule? The timing is not going to be to a point where I can say den at 10, every night. Because, like I say, sometimes things fluctuate a little bit. But I don't know. I've been thinking about earlier dens. Can't necessarily, quote unquote, do day dens like they used to be because, like I said, it's not going to fit into the schedule. And it's just a balance of getting adequate rest. So, like the days I have to be to work, on site at 5 in the morning. Like I said, I get up at 3:30. I try to get up at 3:30 every day. Not always successful, but it's not it's not me doing the den and having to get the little lack of sleep to make it to the next day. It's the days that I'm up at 3:30 and then I say I'm gonna do a den at 8, 9, 10 because I tend not to go to sleep then, and so then, it's kind of like then we did Friday where all you ladies were terrible. I was just so disappointed in each and every one of you, but it wasn't a great den, right? And I didn't even feel super great doing it because one, I know I was tired, I was a little drunk. Might have been a little high, so it just smoking a little chronic. But the combination of those things, that's not going to make a good host. It's not going to make a good stream. It's not going to make quality consumption. So I'll leave it like that. Other than that, one thing I'm gonna point out too, and then we're gonna wrap it up. What I actually found very interesting about the stream tonight. I always put for the most of it, I've always had like little stars or some shit like in the background. What the fuck is that? A little fuzz and shit flying around. But I find it funny that there's actual stars in the background, even though I got the little shit on the outside. But there's actually stars in the sky by me, and lightning and all that stupid shit. I don't know if they've had lightning backgrounds and all that shit too in the past at one point. But here we are. So, that's that, Again, I say topics like smelly. That's what I'm saying, right? But they might, because people might have coworkers. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, yeah, this bitch fucking Lisa fucking stinks, and they might turn the den up really loud so, she can hear it, and it might do her a favor. So who knows, right? Anyway. Okay. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you, den folk. I love y'all. Y'all take care of yourself. As always, it is an honor. It is a privilege. And more than anything, like Chick-fil-A, it's my pleasure to stream with y'all, to chop it up with y'all, just to communicate with y'all. But I don't know, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. No promises, right? Depends on what else I get into. Other than that, like I say, y'all take care of yourselves. If y'all know what we do, the after party. You want to slide in the Discord, be in the Discord, do a voice chat a little bit. Because it is a little humid out here. I'm going to go back in for a while. And like I say, y'all want to get a Discord, chop it up, we can do that. If I fall asleep and snore on you, well, I forewarned you. Okay? I forewarned you. So I'm going to put the link for the Discord in here real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up. And again, like I said, I can't promise. I'm going to try for tomorrow. It just depends. I might go swimming. I might go swimming with my dense black bones and never make it out the pool. Let's see. Give me that damn link. Don't start updating shit. This is not update time. What are you updating things? I don't need notifications. I don't want notifications and or updates. What in the... Kenneth, what the fuck did you post in the Discord? Oh, this is an old thing. I was about to say, what the fuck? That was from 2022. I'm in the wrong area of the Discord. That's why. I'm like, what in the... Yeah. My bad, player. That's definitely some old stuff. That's not for everybody's information. I was like, what in the fuck is that? And for those of you who are members or in the Discord, there are several different rooms for several different conversations in the Discord, different things. Everything ain't for everybody, and use the rooms adequately, and everybody be okay. 10, one day, cool. Copy. All right, posting this shit. And all right, mi amigos and mi amigas, mejor dime que me extraña. I'm gone. Adios. Hablamos mañana. I'm gone. Y'all take care of yourself. Make it night. Y'all ain't got to go home. Sliding the after party in the Discord. But y'all got to get the fuck up out of here. I'm out. It's your boy, Honcho.